guys, it's Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you all of the books that I am the most excited for the second half of 2017. I have a pretty long list, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. It covers the months July through December. I can't believe we're already far enough into 2017 that we're talking about December right now. That's crazy. First on my list, we have Unraveling by Sara. This is the second book in the Unblemished trilogy. I'm super excited to finally get my hands on it. I really enjoyed Unblemished. I have an entire review for that one. It follows this young girl who has a birthmark that covers the majority of her face. She finds out one day that this birthmark could very well be a magical, important mark in another world. I really loved the first book. It felt like Sara was really woven into the pages. It felt very authentic to her as a person. I loved one of the main characters, Kai. He is so adorable. He's one of the love interests and I just love him so much. I'm excited to see where our main character Eliana's journey goes in the second book. Super excited. Next we have The Ends of the World by Maggie Hall, which I am dying for. I read the first two books in this trilogy back to back last summer and was obsessed with them. So I've been waiting very patiently for the conclusion. It has to do with a secret organization and this young girl who finds out that she's actually a long lost member of the secret organization and that the family that she never really knew is more dangerous than she could ever think. They're super fun. They're super fast paced. I'm dying over this next book. I can't wait. Next we have Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo, and again, I'm so freaking excited. This is a part of the DC Icons project where 4 different YA authors were each given a different DC superhero and they have to write them as teenagers and how they would experience life in like a YA novel setting. I watched a panel on YouTube from BookCon where Leigh talks about this book and very in depth with the other 3 authors, and I'll link that below as well. So many links. Future Jordan's gonna hate that. It just sounded super interesting. Can't wait to see more Diana kick ass because Wonder Woman, very popular right now, and I'm just super excited to see Leigh's take on Wonder Woman. Hearing her talk about the book on the panel just made me so flippin' excited. Then we have Tower of Dawn by Sara J. Maas, unofficial 6th book or 5th book of volume 2, I don't know, of the Throne of Glass series. This is the Kale novella that's become the Kale novel. It takes place over the same span of time that Empire of Storms takes place, so we're going to see what Kale's been doing in the Southern Continent, which I'm super excited about because I'm excited to see more of this world and have a bigger scope of it and to see new customs and a new culture and new people. I want to see more of Nesrin and Kale and their dynamics. I want to see Irene again. We haven't seen Irene since one of the original novellas, and I want to see the Healer's Compound thing. I'm just very excited. Next we have Warcross by Marie Lu, which is the first book in a new trilogy. I don't know. I don't know much about this book other than Marie Lu wrote it and she wrote Legend, and I freaking loved Legend. It has to do with like a hacker who like has to go into this virtual reality video game where there's like a competition and she has to hack into the competition to affect the results. I've been hearing fantastic buzz about this book since it was available at BEA. I'm excited. I'm here for it. Next we have One Dark Crown by Kendare Blake. What did I call it? One Dark Throne? Oh lord. This book is called One Dark Throne. It's the sequel to 3 Dark Crowns. First book, I liked it, but I didn't like absolutely love it, but I really liked the characters, like the 3 sisters and their dynamic, and I liked how different they were. It takes place in this island separated into 3 different like factions. One sister has been raised in each portion of the island, but only one of the sisters has any magical abilities. The other 2 have never grown into what they're supposed to be. Really interested to see what happens next. Like I said, the first book I didn't love, but the ending was enough to keep me hooked. Next we have There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This is her new like horror thrasher thriller novel, I guess. It's kind of like Scream in that it is a horror novel, but it's more of like a satirical, funny horror novel. It doesn't publish anything outside of the Anna Lola Isla trilogy, and this is so different from those contemporary romance novels. Excited to see how she tackles this new genre. I hope it's really good. I hope it's not too scary. Next we have Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo, which is a fairy tale book for the Grishaverse. So how we have the Grimm fairy tales or Disney fairy tales here in our world, the Grisha children grew up with these stories. I believe 3 of them have already been been published as e-novellas. They're being republished in print format with 3 new stories. Hope they're really good and like kind of dark and twisted and magical. Next we have The Ship of the Dead by Riordan, which is the 3rd and final book in the Magnus Chase in the Gods of Asgard trilogy. The longest series name to ever exist. I read the first one and I really enjoyed it. I love that the series is back in first person. I just feel like Rick's humor is so much better suited for a first person novel versus the third person we got with the Heroes of Olympus. I love that this series is written that way. I've heard amazing things about the second book. I love Rick Riordan's stuff. We also have Without Merit by Colleen Hoover coming out on the same day. And I actually don't know much about this one other than Colleen Hoover wrote it. That was enough to sell me. Sounds like we're following this young woman who decides to reveal the dark secrets of her past before she leaves her family. Her escape plan fails. She ends up having to deal with the consequences of telling the truth and letting the secrets out in the first place. It's not really a lot to go on. It sounds very different from her previous works. There's no mention of a romance. Very intrigued. I'm very interested to see if it's something that's completely different from her other books. There's probably going to be some shocking ass twists in it. We also have Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray, which is the 3rd book in the Diviner series. And look, it got another freaking cover change. 3rd book, 3rd cover change. I'm not buying these books in print until the covers stop changing. The first book, The Diviners, last October, and I really enjoyed it. I was a little surprised by how much I enjoyed it because occults kind of stuff can really freak me out. Really gripped by the murder mystery and like this underlying thing that's going to connect all the books, and I'm sure going to be like the end game of the series. I haven't read the second book yet on purpose because there have been very long gaps between releases of the series and I didn't want to have to wait a really long time to read the next book. This next book I literally just found out about a week ago, and that is Origin by Dan Brown. Apparently we're getting another book in the Robert Langdon series. I didn't know that. I don't know what this is about. The synopsis says that it's about a symbologist who unearths an ancient historical secret and then gets on a wild goose chase for something, and I'm like, well, that's every book in this series. I love Dan Brown's books about Robert Langdon. I love Robert Langdon. I love the movies. I just like the conspiracy history aspect. You guys know that I love books like that. Yes, give it all to me. So excited we're getting another book in the series because I thought that Inferno was going to be the last one, but surprise, there's a 5th one. I'm excited nonetheless. Next we have a book that I'm super excited for, and that is This Darkness Mine by Mindy McGinnis. I will link an interview down below that Trina from Between Chapters did with Mindy where she talks about this book because she sold me on it. About this girl who starts having gaps in her memory. She can't account for certain times in her life. She learns that when she was in the womb, she actually had a twin that she absorbed. Does she have some conscious left of the twin? It's a psychological thriller about this girl trying to take her life back and try to reclaim those gaps in her life and understand what happened with her twin sister. Mindy McGinnis does dark and twisted really well, and this sounds like extra dark and twisted. I'm really excited. Next we have The Becoming of Noah Shaw by Michelle Hodkin, which is the 1st book in the spin-off trilogy to the Mara Dyer trilogy, which I was obsessed with. I absolutely loved Mara Dyer. I have a video for that one as well. I am so freaking excited that we're getting a trilogy from Noah's point of view because Noah was the best character. I freaking adored Noah. This is going to take place after the events of the Mara Dyer trilogy, so you will have to read Mara Dyer in order to read this. Mara has a very interesting role within her society, and her relationship with Noah is a very interesting dynamic because of who they are and what roles they play in this world. They were just learning about those roles at the end of the 3rd book. Now that this one takes place after that, we're going to see the consequences of them learning those things. Freaking excited for it. We also have Renegades by Marissa Meyer, which is the 1st book in her new duology, and it takes place in this world where a girl was raised by supervillains and a boy was raised by superheroes, and they meet. They have to start questioning everything that they've been taught and what it really means to be a superhero or supervillain. I really like good versus evil stories and the intersection of the two. I really liked Heartless by her. I didn't finish Lunar Chronicles yet. So someday. I mean, hello, super villains, superheroes, those are buzzwords. I hear them. I need to read things. Of course, I was initially drawn to this. Next, we have a book that I'm also super excited for. Of course, that's the theme of this video, and that is Artemis by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It follows a girl named Jazz who lives on the moon. First we have Mars, now we have the moon. I'm pretty excited about it. She is a criminal. She comes across this crime that is just too lucrative to turn down. However, little does she know that this crime is way outside of her league. It ends up putting her in the middle of a conspiracy to gain control of Artemis itself. A conspiracy to take control of the entire city. And what she needs to do in order to survive puts her at even greater risk than the initial crime she was hired to commit. Conspiracy, crime, the moon, like, do we need more? Could there be more perfection in one book? Sounds like a wonderful thing. I'm so excited about it. Those are all of the books that I am super excited for that are coming out in the second half of 2017. I would love to know what your most anticipated books for the second half of the year are in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!